Hi guys! How's everybody doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Good night. But seriously, I hope everyone's having a great day. And it is recommendation month, everybody! One of my favorite times where you guys get to send in the anime that I have to watch. For better or worse. And I get to react to it. The only caveat being it has to have an English dub, and preferably be around 50 episodes or under. Someone actually did suggest something that was 80-something episodes was Hamtaro, a while back, and I did have to tell them I'll have to cover that at a later point. Maybe even give it a full retrospective look like we did with Bleach or something. Because I heard good things about that show, but it's not in the episodes. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, I actually do like this time of Dubster Dive where we do recommendations, because sometimes you get, shows you would have never checked out otherwise. So, it's cool. And other times you get Gilgamesh. Anyway, our first recommendation, once again, comes from Cloak Zeus, the guy last year who gave me Gilgamesh. He must hate me. And this time, he gave me Samurai Deeper Kyo. I should mention up front, if I don't get around to your recommendation this time, don't feel bad. There's always next time. But, yeah. Samurai Deeper Kyo. It asks that age-old question. What would happen if we took Rurouni Kenshin and made it not as good? Fuck you, headset. Anyway. So, what is Samurai Deeper Kyo? Samurai Deeper Kyo is a manga written and illustrated by, Akamine Kamijo, who also wrote the manga for Codebreaker. Speaking of manga with dodgy adaptations, I actually got that, the limited edition, when it came out from Funimation, which was just a stupid box. Fuck you, Funimation. Charging additional money for just a box that says Ellie on it. Big deal. One of my thoughts on Codebreaker real quick. Was very okay. Another botched anime adaptation, much like this dude's other work. Anyway, Samurai Deeper Kyo ran from May 1999 to May of 2006 and Shonen Sunday. Kyo even got featured in that fighting game crossover that was Japan only for the PSP of Shonen Sunday characters, alongside Ranma, Inuyasha, Ippo from Hajime no Ippo, and Natsu from Fairy Tail. Yes, this dick was standing next to those legends. I'm sorry, but no. Anyway, the anime adaptation would be done by Studio Dean. And no, this is not one of their fortunate works where it turned out okay, like, say, Konosuba or their other samurai series they did. Anyway, it would run from July to December of 2002, with the dub being produced and licensed by Media Blasters under their Anime Works banner in 2003. Oh, Media Blasters, a company that as of right now is still around distributing stuff to this very day. Oh, sure, they might be a shell of their former selves, but the point still stands. They outlasted ADV, Genion, Central Park Media, which ironically enough is how the company even got started in the first place. It's what inspired them to name themselves that. And so on and so forth. So many other... they outlasted Crunchyroll! Remember, Crunchyroll was purchased by Sony and Funimation and is most likely being dissolved into them. Just let that sink in. Media Blasters outlasted Crunchyroll. What kind of fucked up timeline do we live in? If you're wondering why I'm going on so much about this, because I don't know when the chances I'll get to talk about Media Blasters again. Anyway, Samurai Deeper Kyo would even get a chance to air its entire run, briefly at least. I don't know if it was the whole thing, but it did air briefly on the Stars TV channels. Anna Midnight Block, I think it was called, or something like that. I don't know. I never watched that block. Our friend Manslayer Goku did. But... let's get to Samurai Deeper Kyo, shall we, and talk about what this whole thing is. So, it takes place right at the start of the Battle of Sekigahara Castle. Famous historical Japanese thing. Where stuff is getting real. Before jumping forward 4 years as we get introduced to our main character, Kyoshiro. who apparently is also having the personality of Kyo, a samurai inside of him that fought in the Battle of Sekigahara Castle. It's very weird. So yeah, he has split personalities. And if anyone's gonna say spoilers, you find out in the first 10 minutes of episode 1. Anyway, I think you can see where this is going, though. A guy somewhat troubled by his past of fighting in the war, you know, time skip. He's a badass samurai, but as of right now, Kyoshiro is a medicine man who wants to help people instead of actually, you know, drawing blood anymore. It's literally just Rurouni Kenshin. As if to confound that point, we get introduced to our main female character, Yuya Shina, who is searching for someone that took away a close family member of her, just like Kaoru. Well, Kaoru wasn't really searching, but you get what I mean here. In fact, Yuya is looking for a guy with a cross-shaped scar on his body. Sound fucking familiar? But everyone has inspiration, right? I'm sure it's not that bad, right? Well, it turns out Yuya became a bounty hunter in order to avenge her brother because someone did end up killing him. The guy with the cross-shaped scar on his back instead of his cheek. It's completely different from Kenshin, right? Kenshin had a scar on his cheek. This guy has it on his back. And that's when she ends up running into Kyoshiro, who, by the way, Kyo has the other personality in him, Demon Eyes Kyo, or the Men Slayer Kyo. Yes, really. They call him the 1,000 Men Slayer. And it's hilarious. The dub, on constant occasion, will switch to calling him the 1,000 Man Slayer on accident. Seriously, I am not making this shit up. Anyway, Kyo has a bounty on his head for a shit ton of money. And Yuya wants to collect on that bounty. When she runs into Kyoshiro, she tries, you know, turning him in for the bounty, but then a demon shows up. Yeah, this universe has demons, or they're called Kenro, I think. And that's when Kyo emerges from inside Kyoshiro to take down the demon, and it goes from there. Kyo and Yuya set out on a journey to, I guess, stop the demon outbreak or something. I'll get to more of the plot in a bit. It should also be noted Studio Dean went in a filler direction, being as how the manga wasn't done yet, and they got a little handsy ahead of themselves to adapt this really quickly. Remember, this was back in the early 2000s when most anime coming out were based on mangas that hadn't ended yet, so they gave them a filler ending. DN Angel, Negima, FMA is the perfect example of that, and so on and so forth. How's the filler ending? We'll get to that. Let's just say the people who do like this manga seem to agree it's kind of shit. As far as the animation goes, it's Studio Dean. I heard people say this isn't one of their more atrocious works, but that it still suffers from Deanisms here and there. OST, I think, is very okay. It goes for a very hard rock thing, you know, to try to be cool. Because that's the whole thing they try presenting to you is Kyo is this badass personality who's the complete opposite of Kyoshiro. Because Kyoshiro comes across like, I don't want to fight, man. I just want to run from monsters. I don't want to fight. I can't. I'm helpful medicine man. They keep calling him medicine man. Can't they just call him doctor or pharmacist or something? I don't know. Or herbalist. Anyway, whereas Kyo is alpha, manly man, badass who kills everything that he goes up against. It acts like kind of a dick. So because of that, Kyo's theme is probably the one recognizable thing about the OST, I'd say. It's alright. Now we get to the reason this is called Dubster Dive. Let's talk about this. Okay. So firstly, we have 3 ADR directors, which would explain why the performances in this dub can range from being okay to being really bad. And I say that very nicely. Remember, this dub was from 2003. At that point, dubs started to get a reputation for being okay. So the ADR directors are Dan Green, Sean Schemmel, and Michael St. Nicholas, who was also the scriptwriter, by the way. So, yeah. I should mention this dub, I believe, was done out of the New York studio. You know, the one 4Kids did all their stuff out of. So, let's get to our mains. Firstly, we have Kyo and Kyoshiro, voiced by Dan Green, who most of you would probably know as Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, and Knuckles from the 4Kids Sonic era. But, yes, one of the ADR directors casted himself. Don't worry, Sean Schemmel did it too, as did Michael St. Nicholas, because all three of them are pricks with this dub. Now, I will have to give Dan Green credit, much like, you know, I guess they did it as kind of a nod to him being an alternate personality inside Yugi, kind of. But, yeah, him going from Kyo to Kyoshiro, he does do two distinct different voices, and he does a decent job here. Even if he comes across a little silly, over-the-top, and edgelordy. Hell, there's even a scene where Kyo is fighting a dude, another samurai, and he calls him a snowflake. I laughed my ass off at that, because it's like, wow. But alright. After him, we have Yuya Shina, aka Not Kaoru as I like to call her, voiced by Veronica Taylor, or Ribrianne from Dragon Ball Super, and I know Ash from Pokemon, someone's gonna bring that up. Anyway, she's kind of a tsundere, and ends up falling for Kyo. If anyone's gonna, again, say spoilers, they make it blatantly obvious. The point I'm getting at is, again, just like Kaoru with Kenshin. Do you get it? Anyway, she did alright, I guess, with what she was given. After her, we have Okuni, the other female main, who's the doctor in the group. You know, kind of. She's the one that treats the wounds a lot of the time. Just like... you get the idea. Anyway, Okuni is voiced by Deborah S. Craig, who I couldn't find a single other voiced role by, and when I did look up a Deborah S. Craig, the only one I got on IMDb was someone who was a character in The Blacklist, as well as a bunch of other live-action shows. And if this woman doesn't have any other voice roles, it does show. She is easily the weakest one out of the main cast, hands down. In my opinion, at least. But, yeah. Moving on from her, we have Sanada Yukimura, who's someone that Kyo knew from the old war days that's his on and off again rival slash friend, who ends up being a kind of a manipulative troll and manipulating Kyo whenever he gets the chance to on occasion. Just like Saito and Kenshin! I know you all are probably getting sick of the Kenshin comparisons, but for fuck's sake, if you've seen Kenshin, especially as recently as I did back with Manslayer Goku and Dai, just a couple weeks back with the live-action films, it's unnoticeable. Or, not unnoticeable. It's blatantly obvious. Fuck, I need to talk. Anyway, Sanada Yukimura is played by Christopher Cromer, who is Tenjo in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V and Zexal, as well as Judeo in Berserk the Golden Age movies, if that is how you pronounce that name. Look, guys, I haven't seen Berserk in a while. Please don't be mad at me. Anyway, a lot of his line delivery actually reminded me of, I guess you could say, a Griffin Burns portrayal. That's how he comes across to me, at least, in this. If you watch it, maybe you'll hear differently. I don't know. Some of his lines just kind of remind me of that, because Griffin Burns plays a lot of trolly characters at times. And Yukimura comes across like that. He's kind of a dick. But yeah, Christopher Cromer did alright with what he was given. Afterwards, we have Sakuya. Sakuya, honestly, she's our narrator. She does the opening narration for each episode, as well as the episode previews. And she's someone that Kyo and Kyoshiro were both close to in the past. And she's kind of generic. Doesn't matter who voiced her, because no one could have given much life to this role. She's very one-note. Anyway, Sakuya is voiced by Eden Regal, who we recently covered as Orichio from Bleach. She's also Sherry Birkin in Resident Evil 6, everyone's favorite Resident Evil. And again, this character, outside of narrating everything, is barely there. I'm sure in the manga she had a more significant role, but up until near the end, where the filler ending kicks in, she doesn't really leave much of a lasting impression, in my opinion, in the anime. So, there you go, I guess. Now, afterwards, we have Yukimura's attendants. First, we have Saizo instead of Saito. Just changed a couple letters, sure. Anyway, Saizo is voiced by Mark Derison. Yes, Wilhelm from Season 1 of ReZero and Guts from Berserk. Getting a real Berserk reunion here. Hell, Kevin T. Collins is even a one-off character. Anyway, Mark Derison is, well, I mean, come on, it's Mark fucking Derison. You could give this man anything and he'd bring his A game. No, but seriously, he's trying way too hard in this show. He tries making his character come across like a badass, caring dude who really is loyal to his master, and it does work. Mark is easily one of the best voice actors in this dub, hands down. After him, we have Yukimura's other attendant, Sasuke. No, not Sasuke from Naruto, though it's impossible not to think that. Sasuke, a young boy who's a member of the group that wants to prove himself. You know, like Yahiko from Kenshin. I mean, totally not like Yahiko. Definitely not. Because this time, Sasuke's a ninja, so he just combined Yahiko with Misao. Or whatever. Anyway, Sasuke is voiced by Michelle Newman. Michelle Newman is Rickard in Berserk, the original and the Golden Age movie, and Belthy, if that's how you pronounce that character's name, from Queen's Blade Rebellion. So you go from something a bit gory to something incredibly ecchi. Two sides of the same extreme, well, two different sides of the extreme. Anyway. And she does alright. Got no real complaints. But yeah. Afterwards, we have Benny Tora. Benny Tora is, I guess, kind of best friend Kun. He's someone that means well, but is kind of an idiot. Makes a lot of comments about hitting on chicks and liking hot girls. And his whole thing is jobbing to a lot of antags to soften them up for Kyo to step in. Yeah, sound familiar? Anyone remember Sagura from Kenshin? Look, again, if it is annoying that I'm bringing it up, I'm sorry. But for fuck's sake, it's blatantly obvious what this guy was trying to copy here. And my guess is Shonen Sunday saw how successful Kenshin was in Shonen Jump and thought they wanted their own samurai thing and commissioned someone to make a samurai series. And this is what they got. Anyway, Benny Tora is voiced by Wayne Grayson, who most of you would probably know as Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh!, as well as Akatsuki from Aria the Animation franchise. And Benny Tora, he gave him a southern accent. I have no idea why, but it's really dumb. It's kind of hilarious. This is what I mean with this dub. It's all over the fucking place. But, I mean, you find out also Benny Tora is not who he seems to be, and that the southern accent is just a facade. So he uses his normal voice when he's alone or talking to someone from his past when he's not, I guess, incognito mode. The stupid part is, though, is sometimes the direction will forget this, so he'll be talking in his normal voice to someone he's trying to be incognito with. Or he'll talk in his southern accent to someone that he doesn't mean to do that to. And that's not in show either, where it's like, oh, it's a joke. No. The dub just fucked up. Anyway, Benny Tora is probably my favorite character, because he's a dumbass, but his comments are kind of great. Last out of the main heroes, we have Migera, voiced by, oh no, okay, I'm gonna butcher this name, Maddie Blastane, if that's how you pronounce that, who's Meowth from Pokemon, and Lord Flush, from Ultimate Muscle. And again, Migera has an over-the-top accent. He has an accent that talks like this. You know the one. Either way, I just don't get why. I really don't. Anyway, he's your typical just honorable warrior type who wants to, you know, save the world for his people. Yeah, you get it. It's kind of the stereotype with that accent too, not helping. But regardless, yeah. And Maddie does a really good job with Migera, I'm going to be honest. There are moments where the accent kind of slips, but nowhere near as bad as Benny Tora over there. Now, as far as the rest of the cast, I'll name off a couple of the villains. So Nobunaga, obviously in a samurai setting set in this period, was going to be our main villain. He's voiced by Michael Austin Bailey, or J. David Brimmer, whichever name you want to go by. Crocodile Man from the One Piece 4 Kids dub. Everyone's favorite dub. I didn't think we'd be talking about him again this soon after 3 Delivery, where he's Mr. Wu. But here we are. Anyway, yeah. He comes across great as Nobunaga. He is hamming it up so much. It is so over-the-top stupid. And that's the thing about this dub. I will say that up front. I'm memeing about it and complaining about certain things, but this dub is hilarious. I actually enjoyed the dub for how dumb it was. Because as I said, performances would range wildly from being competent, like with Dan Green or Mark Derison, to really kind of shit with all the one-off characters that just did not care. A lot of these people did not give a shit. There's even a guy who tries talking like Nicolas Cage in the dub, and I laughed my ass off every time he was on screen. Because it's like, what, was this just go for the most over-the-top voices any of you could think of? I mean, it worked. It made this dub memorable, but for the wrong reason. I should also mention Sean Schemmel is Yukimura Sanada's brother, Nobuyuki Sanada, and it's just Sean Schemmel doing his typical Sean voice. Oh, and there are also Michael St. Nicholas voicing a couple of characters, and Sam Riegel. For those who don't know, they sound incredibly similar, and yes, I did get them confused in this dub a few times, because they both play several different characters, because the double casting, of course, is off the charts here, with even Dan Green voicing a few other characters. Look, I get double casting, but do you have to do it with the main cast? Like, can't you have them actually, you know, use other people? I don't know, use Michael Austin Bailey as multiple people, which I think they did, but you know what I mean. Anyway, as far as silly dubisms, we've got a few. So, a moment where Yuya calls Kyo Kiro. It's like she was trying to say Kyoshiro and Kyo at the same time and fucked up. But, yeah. Also, I already mentioned the Manslayer to Menslayer thing constantly getting mixed up. Let's see. Saizo ends up calling Sasuke Sosuke at one point, making the Kenshin connection even more annoying. And, yeah. Yukimura calling Sakuya Sakuyu. That's just a couple of the silly dubisms I've noticed, and I'm sure there's others too. But, what do you want me to say? This dub was hilarious. Like, it's one of those where you're gonna get massive whiplash, as I stated. And that's the one thing I could say about this show. Look up some of the dub clips the thing is with this show, though, is not many people have covered it. So I don't even know how much dub stuff you could find online for it. It's very obscure and probably for the filler ending, which I'm going to get into here in a second, because the filler ending is... there's no getting around it. It's fucking stupid. It really is. But before that, I know people are probably going to bring up, what about the other antags? Well, you see, Nobunaga's antags number around 10. 10 major antags that are all part of another faction that he runs. Just like the 10 Swords Shishio ran. I gotta stop bringing up Kenshin, but maybe it's because that's what I'd rather be fucking watching. As far as the show's story itself, I'm not going to get any major spoilers yet, but it was very forgettable. There's nothing inherently wrong here, it's just with how much it is trying so hard to be fucking Kenshin. It really is. The character writing especially, where shit just, like, Yukimura being the on-again, off-again frenemy to Kyo and the rest of the group, you can tell what they're going for. Everyone trying to have their own ambitions to move politically forward in the new era or whatever, post the Battle of Sekigahara. I mean, I guess he threw demons into it and tried making it more over the top to try making it stand on its own. The problem is, when it comes to anime format, Sengoku Basara's anime would come out a few years later and do this concept way better, in my opinion. And I mean that too. Also, the dub didn't really suck. And that's, at the end of the day, what I have to say about the dub. It's not very good. Oh, sure, I find it hilarious and can laugh my ass off at it, but with the performances ranging from, as I stated, really good or passable to complete crap, I can't say that it's a good representation of English dubs. And fuck knows, we already have enough people hating on them, especially after 2019. But that is one thing I can say about this dub. Still more memorable than most of Funimation's dubs coming out nowadays, because it doesn't feel automated, if that's the best way to describe it. But I'm going on a tangent here. Getting ready to get in spoilers. If you want to watch Samurai Deeper Kyo, which I don't even understand what that terminology is supposed to mean, I don't know if I could honestly recommend it. Maybe the manga is better, I've heard people say that, but if you want to watch a good samurai anime, I'd suggest Rurouni Kenshin if you haven't seen it already. But if you want a samurai anime that's just over-the-top stupid and knows what it wants to be and is just fun, Sengoku Basara is the way to go. So, yeah. Okay. We're getting into the filler ending now. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I guess GTFO. Alright, so we find out, and I'm pretty sure a lot of this is filler, but I don't know. I didn't do enough research into the manga to find out, because to be honest, I didn't really care to. Kyo and Kyoshiro's personalities... Okay, so Kyoshiro is also a badass warrior. In fact, it's stated at several points in the anime, he might even be more powerful than Demonized Kyo. Okay, could have fooled me with the first half of the show, but whatever. Anyway, it turns out in Fillerland, Kyoshiro became so powerful that his fighting instinct became its own personality named Kyo. I am dead fucking serious. This is real. This happened in the anime. His power was so great, it formed its own personality. And because of that, they created the Mibu clan, Kyoshiro Mibu, that's his last name, the Mibu clan that he was a part of. And Sakuya created a pseudo-homunculus, I guess, an artificial body, for Kyo to inhabit, which is said to be the strongest made body in the world. That is the most powerful body for a samurai to inhabit. Because, you see, Kyo was so badass that he needed his own body, and Kyoshiro wanted to be separated from him, too. Do you see what I mean yet about this being kind of stupid? And, like, I just don't even know. But alright, so... Anyways, Nobunaga ends up capturing Kyo's homunculus body and inhabiting it for the final battle, because Nobunaga's body, I guess, is breaking down, because he's, again, Kenyo, the demon monsters thingies, they can't survive in human form very long without it putting a strain on their body, because the Kenyo power is too powerful. Even though Kyo has been surviving just fine in Kyoshiro's body for these last few years when he's more powerful than them, but whatever, I guess because it's not Kenyo power, it's okay. I don't even know. So it then turns out that the battle at Sekigahara Castle was supposed to end with Kyo dying or something, Kyo and Kyoshiro both dying, but because it didn't, there was a time divergence, so now we're on an alternate timeline where Kenyo exists, and Nobunaga never died, so he came back, and he's going to conquer the world, so the final battle takes place in a time distortion. It's like, what? How did we get here? I don't even understand. What are we doing? And, yeah, so... I didn't even bring up the 5 magical artifacts called the True Muramasa that all of the main characters had to bring together to awaken the one true Muramasa above all the other true Muramasas to defeat Nobunaga or something. And then they're like, oh, we have to kill Kyo and Kyoshiro in order to, you know, sever the timeline and make it go back to normal. Except they really didn't, because they defeat Nobunaga and stay on the alternate timeline anyways, and it seems like the Kenyo were all wiped out regardless. Yeah, I don't really get it. I'm being serious. This is why when you insert time travel in your story, you have to know how to do it correctly. Otherwise, you're just going to end up looking like an idiot. Look at Steins Gate. It did it right. Anyway. So, yeah. Kyo gets his body back, you know, and Kyoshiro end up fighting him to the death because they need to know which one is the strongest. Only one of them can survive for some fucking reason. I don't know. They say it's the warrior's samurai spirit, which, sure. I didn't care at this point. This was the final episode. Yuya ends up falling for both of them. I shit you not. And she actually says to Megara, because Megara stops her from interfering, saying, could you honestly say you want to see this? See which one of them falls, and that you could love the remaining person? Of course, he says it in his over-the-top accent. And Yuya just goes, yes, I will love the winner, because me and him can grieve over the fallen loser as we live our lives together. Wait, what? What the fuck? I don't even... What? Stop! Please! My head? I know I'm getting all worked up here, but this is... Okay, so... She's saying she would fuck either one of them, I guess, no matter who wins or loses. And that then they would live together grieving over the death of the fallen person. That doesn't sound very fun. To top it all off, by the way... So... Yuya's brother, the guy that she was looking for the murderer of, or whatever, it turns out her brother was a descendant of the Mibu clan, and he adopted her as a sibling, which I have to ask, how the fuck do you adopt a sibling? But whatever. So that means Yuya technically fell in love with her step-sibling Kyo, because Kyo and Kyoshiro are her step-siblings since they're part of the Mibu clan that her brother was. Because, you know, Japan just has to get... fucking incest kink in here, I guess. Speaking of which, I didn't even bring this up. Oichi, Nobunaga's sister, you find out her motivation for helping Nobunaga, because Nobunaga's whole motivation was obviously world domination, but also they wanted to bring the demon world open. They wanted to open it to let all the Kenyo run free. Oichi said she wanted to do it because the world frowned upon the love she had for her brother, but if the world was run by demons, then it would be okay to be incestuous. Well, I mean, you could just go to Alabama. But in all seriousness, what the actual fuck? Why? Why was this necessary to put in the show? I just... Whatever. So, the anime wraps up with everyone being happy. We see all of them... and, you know, they all meet up for one final battle at Sekigahara Castle... Or not Sekigahara Castle. It was a different castle. Basically, Yukimura wants to... the Yukimura clan to be the most powerful or something. While... I guess Yuya becomes a medicine woman in memory of Kyoshiro. And it shows that Kyo is the one she's with. I think. I don't even know. But being as how she's a medicine woman, that's what I can infer from this. That Kyoshiro lost the duel and she's doing it in memory of him while she's with Kyo now. Honestly, I could only go based off the voices, and it sounded like Dan Green's Kyo voice. But I just... Whatever. I don't care, alright? The show, as I said, was forgettable, but the ending was just fucking stupid. And not even stupid in the fun way. It was just dumb. Will this show get a remake? I don't know. Probably not. To be honest, this is a manga/anime that seems to have been forgotten by time. For good reason. Rurouni Kenshin came out years earlier and did this whole thing better. And also, I'm 99% certain it didn't have any incest. Not to mention, Sengoku Basara would take the concept and run with it, as I stated. I'm just repeating myself now. This anime is driving me insane. If you like Samurai Deeper Kyo, then more power to you. But for me, this is an anime I doubt I'll ever go back to. And I probably won't even remember come a month from now, aside from the hilariously awkward English dub. If you want to own the series, it might be out of print now, actually. So, that might make things a bit difficult. But alright. Let me know your thoughts on this. I hope you all enjoyed this, and... yeah. I didn't even name an MVP of the dub. Fuck it, I'll just give it to Mark Dorison, because it's Mark Dorison. Screw you. I don't care. Is that biased? Yes! But hey, Dubster Dive is our show. I can do whatever the fuck I want. But alright. Thank you all again so much for watching, and coming up next will be recommendation number 2, and it'll be a surprise, because I don't know which one I'm picking yet. I know which 4 or which 3 left we're doing for the rest of this, but I don't know which one out of the 3 I'm picking next. And hopefully Di will be back to join me, for the next one, but yeah. Was this the worst anime? No, not even close. Like I said, it was just forgettable. Gilgamesh, Super HX Zeros, Camphor, those are still way worse. And I'd say the ending, which was dumb, didn't piss me off as much as, say, Cautious Hero. Because Cautious Hero started off promising and then diverged. This, the second I started it, I was already mad of how much it was borderline plagiarizing Kenshin. And, hey, person who recommended this, if you like this show, that's fine. I'm not, gonna kink shame you or anything, but just giving my personal thoughts on it. If anyone likes this anime and thinks it's a classic, more power to you. Just for me, nah. But alright, guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have yourselves a great day. And until next time, you snowflakes. I can't believe Dan Green called someone that. That almost made it worth watching this whole thing for. But anyways, guys. Till then, hope you have yourselves a fantastic day, and I'll be back with the next recommendation very soon. Bye! You fucking snowflakes!